Okay, so we're just going to look at some parts of the next section before I give you work to do. And this is page 175 of your book, or chapter 8.4, text and test 1. So we're looking at removing brackets. So what that really means is we're looking at multiplying. So they've started off with an example here that contains just numbers, right? What would happen if you were asked to multiply 4 by 3 plus 2? Well, we know that 3 plus 2 is 5, so really what would happen if you multiplied 4 by 5? 4 by 5 is equal to 20. Okay, so that's fairly obvious and everyone should be comfortable with that. But what if we couldn't add the 3 and the 2? What if one of these, or both of them, was a letter? So the distribution effect of multiplication allows us to multiply something out. So if we had to multiply 4 into 3 plus 2, instead of adding the 3 into 2, we know that we could say, well, 4 by 3 plus 2 and 4 by 2 by 2. So what's going on here? Multiply the 4 by the 3 and then multiply the 4 by the 2, and we get the same answer. 4 3s are 12, and then your 4 2s are 8. What happens when you add your 12 and 8? You're still getting 20. So that's known as the distributive law of multiplication. And when we are given something like this, where it's impossible for us to add the x and the 5, for us to calculate what that is, we can still use this law, the distributive law of multiplication, to work out that whatever the answer is, it's going to be the same as 3 multiplied by x and 3 multiplied by 5. So there's your 3 by your x giving you your 3x, and your 3 by your 5 giving you 15. Okay. Similarly down here, if you have to multiply 5 into 2x plus 4, well then there's your 5 multiplied by your 2x, there's your 5 multiplied by your 4, that's giving you 10x plus 20. Or if you have to multiply something like 4 into 2a minus 3b, well, you got to multiply the first one by 4 and the second one by 4. So there's the first one multiplied by 4, 2a gets multiplied by 4, and there's 3b getting multiplied by 4. So what is 2a by 4? 4 by 2a is 8a. What is minus 3b by 4? So number by number, 4 3s are 12. It's minus 12b. Okay, so things to know that you're going to be using here. First one is called the distributive law of multiplication. Sorry, there we go. Right, that's the first thing. Secondly, when we do our multiplication, we have to stick to the rule that we multiply the numbers by the numbers. Letter is multiplied by the letters, and the signs get multiplied by the signs. So this last one here is a good example of that. Okay, in particular, I suppose this one here in particular is a good example of it. What's happened here? Well, we've multiplied the number by the number, right? The 4 got multiplied by the 3 to give us the 12. We multiplied the letter by the letter, so there's no letter here, so we just end up with the B. Then we multiplied the signs by the signs, where we multiplied the plus by the minus to give us minus. So if you stick to that, those three things, and understand that what you're doing here when you're multiplying this by this and this by this, or in this example it was that by that and that by that, that's known as the distributive law of multiplication. So let's move on a little bit and look at some of these examples. Now, I am an advocate for drawing out your little rainbows, as I like to call them. Draw these out so you know what you have to multiply by. You have to multiply 2 by that, then 2 by that, then 2 by that, then minus 3 by that, then minus 3 by that, and then minus 3 by that. So that's 6 bits of multiplication that I got to do. I'm also a fan of writing out, so it's 2 by 3x. Take the sign here, so you take your sign, it's plus 2 all the time, plus 2 by 2y, get the signs right here, plus 2 by minus 4, oops, that shouldn't be a circle, that should be a bracket, undo, undo, there we go. Moving on, you've got to multiply, keep the sign now, so it's minus 3 by a plus x. Then we've got to multiply a minus 3 by a minus 3y. And then you've got to multiply a minus 3 by a plus 2. So once you have them all right down, we said 6 to start, you can count them. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bits of multiplication to do. So 2 by 3x, number by number. 2 by 3 is 6, sign by sign. So this is a plus 2 and a plus is going to give me plus. Letter by letter, there's only one x there, so it's plus 6x. Follow it again, number by number. 2 by 2 is 4. The sign is plus by plus is plus. And the letter, well, there's only letter by letter, just gives us one letter. You'll understand what I mean more when I say letter by letter in the next section. So number by number, 2 by 4 is 8. Sign by sign, plus by minus, because the signs are different, always end up with negative sign. Now we got to go number by number. Okay, so this is 3, and because there's no number here, we know it's 1. So 3 by 1 is 3. Letter by letter, that's going to be 3x, and sign by sign, negative by positive gives you negative. Number by number, 3 by 3 is 9. Letter by letter, so that we only have y's. And sign by sign, minus by minus gives you plus. Number by number, 3 by 2 is 6. Sign by sign, positive by negative is giving you negative. So tidy up what you can tidy up. So at the start, straight off the bat, I'm going to look for the x's. There I've got x's and there I've got x's. So I'm going to calculate, I'll write them down here. 6x minus 3x. Then I'm going to go and look for my y's. So I've got y's here and y's here. I'm going to write them down. Plus 4y plus 9y. And then I'm going to finish up what I've got next to my list, which is 8. So that's real numbers, and I've got real numbers. So I've got minus 8, minus 6. So let's calculate. What's 6x minus 3x? Well, if you had 6 pens and you then took away 3 pens, you'd only have 3 pens less. Oh. So 6x minus 3x will give you 3x. 4y plus 9y. So 4 apples plus 9 apples is going to give you 13 apples. So 4y plus 9y is 13y. And minus 8 minus another, 13y. And minus 8 minus 6 will give you minus 14. In other words, if you lost €8 and then lost another €6, you'd have lost €14. That's as far as you can bring the question. So the last thing that we have to look at here is this little concept that multiplication is the same as finding area. And that shouldn't be new to you, but it might be a new way of thinking about something. So if I had told you that there was a room that was 2 by 3 and asked you what the area was, you would know that 2 by 3 is 6. That the area, if that was 2 meters by 3 meters, you'd have 6 meters squared. You'd know that from primary school. What you've done is you've multiplied 2 by 3. So finding area is multiplication. Then multiplication can be finding area, and that's all that they want you to think about here. If you had a room that was 3 long and x long, what would the area of that room be? Well, it would be length by width. It would be 3 multiplied by x is 3x. And if another room beside it was 7 long, and now if this room is 3, this here is also 3. So because you can see that they're the same length all the way across. So if this room here was 7 long and 3 wide, what would the area be? Well, 7 3s are 21. Do your multiplication there. 7 multiplied by 3 gives you 21. So, so we have seen that 3 into x plus 7 is 3x plus 21. Look at the large rectangle here. The length of the large rectangle is x plus 7. So they're saying that from here to here is x plus 7. And its width is 3. So what's its area? Its area is going to be width by length, or length by width, 3x plus 21. So you can do that and apply that to any time you're asked to multiply something. So for example, if you're asked to multiply 5 into x plus 2, you could think of this question as, okay, if I had a room that was 5 wide and x plus 2 long, what's the area? The area would be 5 by x is 5x, and 5 by 2 is 10. Well, the area would actually be 5x plus 10. Some people find that easier to think of it in that terms. Multiply that by that, you're actually saying, well, what would the area be, length by width? That would be 5x plus 10. Some people will like to draw out these little area models, is what they're known as, in order to calculate multiplication. And that's fine, and we'll look at the benefits of that later down the road for some of you guys. So watch that video a couple of times if you need to, and I'll post on the team the questions that I want people to do.